Good evening, everybody. Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday, happy Spin into Stillness Day. I am so glad that you are here to take a few moments, just a few, to reflect on your week, to reflect on the guidance that we may receive this evening through our beautiful Earth Magic cards, and then to go deep within to receive information on how to apply that guidance in the days ahead. It's really a simple process, and hopefully we have a lot of fun doing it, and doing it together, of course. I am Reverend Rob Benashak, Rev Rob, and I just love doing these. I love taking a few moments myself to also be guided by the card draw that we do together, and by the insight that the book tells us about the card, as well as our own intuition about how it may apply to our own situations. Now, before we get started, trying to really set an intention for every meditation that we do. And so I'm going to invite you to, if you would like, to take a slip of paper, if you would like, and to reflect for the next few seconds on what your intention for tonight might be. Now, that could be to, you know what you want, and so you're going to use this meditation to receive guidance on how to get there, or the ways to make things unfold for you. Or you're asking a question. How is this going to happen for me? How is this going to work? And then you're going to allow your meditation to answer that question for you. Now, we used to, when we were gathered in person, take all the slips of paper and then burn them in a burning brazier bowl. And of course, being separated by the ether, we're not able to do that physically, but I can then draft a slip of paper that says everybody's intentions. And so those intentions will be gathered into that one piece of paper, and then we will send those away in the flames to disperse into the universe, and then come back to each of us as we have allowed it to return. So you can either have your intention individually in your hand as a piece of paper. Maybe you want to write it down. Maybe it helps you remember. Or, of course, you can imagine writing it down and just hold it tightly in your hands. And I will have my slip of paper gather all that energy as we go through meditation and the cards. Now, I have been signing off before actually burning the pieces of paper in the last couple of weeks. So my apologies for that. And hopefully I will not do that today. But it is my intention to, again, burn those pieces of paper, burn those intentions as one piece of paper before we sign off and conclude tonight's meditation. So hopefully that's happening. Appreciate everybody that's here. Let's see who's on Zoom. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you. Let's see if anybody else is on Facebook or YouTube that we want to say hello to. Who's on Facebook? Anybody? All right, Maria's there. Sue Skinzer. Mina, thank you all for joining us or liking the video, which means that you'll join us soon enough. And know that I appreciate the support, the encouragement, and the time that you've been willing to share with me so that you too can take that spin into the stillness, learn more, be more. There's Kathleen Vale on Facebook. And to just evolve step by step, inch by inch, slip of paper by slip of paper, meditation by meditation. So do go ahead and think of your meditation for one moment while I write my intention / question / everybody's intentions down as an intention in and of itself. set my intention here, and I have set your intention here, everybody's intentions. So now we can move on to the heart of our evening, which is the drawing of the Earth Magic cards. Now, I think we might be mixing up our card decks in the coming weeks. So we've taken all of April to learn more and to enjoy these cards, which we've been enjoying for quite some time. If you've been joining us regularly on Wednesday evenings with the Institute for Spiritual Development. And then I'm thinking, as the Spiritual SPINister, perhaps we might want to, got several card decks. A lot of them are very, very beautiful. We want to try something different. So look for those in the coming weeks. But until then, let us work with the Earth Magic cards. Now, what will happen is, and I think most of you here are old timers by this time, I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then I'm going to draw the top card as our message and guidance for the evening. And then we will use that card, take a good look at it, get our feelings on track with it. How does it make us respond? What do we see and feel and hear and taste and smell when we look at the card? And how do we absorb it? And then what does it have to say to us, for us, in the coming week as we delve a little bit deeper into our own deep selves, our own divine selves, that voice that is always right, that is deep within, and yet is always on the surface giving us information. Here I go. Let's shuffle, shall we? So, I'm not a dealer, but I might play one on TV someday. Maybe I'll get better. Perhaps I'm getting better. And let's do a quick move around. Again, we've seen several cards over the last couple of years. We've seen several cards repeatedly, and we've seen, this is a deck that I've pulled, I've not pulled some cards at all for this Wednesday night group, which always fascinates me. How do we get the same ones over and over, and they're ones that I've never pulled? Huh. That's spirit for you. So I think we're ready, right? Our card tonight is interesting. Well, we've had this one before. It's a relatively new one that we've had. The card is Clouds. The message of the card and Clouds is shape-shifting. Now, we did just pull this recently, I think within the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks or so. However, you never know how the card is going to speak to you when we get it again. So I'm going to put it down for us. You can take a closer look at it as I read in a moment. All right, so as you can tell, as it stays lighter and lighter throughout it's actually getting darker and darker, but in the summertime, from spring until the summer solstice, our days are, they are getting better. Yes, we had the equinox on March 21st, and then our days are going to expand until the solstice, in which case we're going to then start seeing the change to be shorter and shorter periods of daylight. So we are expanding in daylight, mistake. But as it does, of course, it makes it more difficult to see some of the things that I have lit with cameras, including this card. So it's a little out of focus, but you get the picture. You can see the colors. You can see how the clouds are being depicted, and you can see the message, which is shape shifting. So let's see what that means. And what does that mean for you as you see that cloud, as you hear those words? How do you see that shape shifting? Is it something that it is welcome for you, do you think, or unwelcome? Or is it something that you do? Is it something that others do around you? Let's see what the book says. When tiny droplets of water or frozen crystals are surrounded by billions of other droplets or crystals, a cloud is formed. Each of these tiny droplets diffuse and scatter light so that the tops of clouds are white, then fade to gray toward the base. The nature of cloud formations affects our mood as well as the temperature on the ground. As the temperature on the ground and in the air. Their shape, movement, and coloration tells us what weather to expect in the near future, and they nourish our visual hunger during breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. Most of us have had the opportunity at one time or another to notice the shapes and forms clouds take as they drift gently or boldly across the sky, constantly shifting and changing, adjusting themselves to the requirements of their nature. When we take time to simply observe, we can see the cloud people, images that are an elegant collaboration between nature and our imagination. In both subtle and more dramatic ways, you can shapeshift by your choice of clothing, hairstyle, adornments, and even mannerisms, such as facial expression, gestures, or the way you walk. By adjusting these along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. When you experiment with these variations of self-expression that are not how you ordinarily present yourself, others will react to you, depending on the degree in which your persona contrasts with the one they are most familiar with. Be like the clouds as you try out different forms, stretching your limits at times, willing to move and adjust as necessary. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall, that your chest and heart are open to the world. And note how this feels. You may feel vulnerable at first, but stay with it. Then let your shoulders fall forward slightly, pull your chest inward an inch or two, and let your head drop a little, and observe how this feels. Experiment with contracting your aura, your energy field, and then expand it as far as you comfortably can. By this kind of shapeshifting, you can consciously choose your expression into the world. Just remember who you are at the core. So, on this reading today, as we look at the word shapeshifting, at least I have in the past, have seen that word as disparaging or derogatory, something that indicates some kind of inauthenticity, right? So if you're a shapeshifter, no one really knows who you are because you are changing in all these ways and you're trying on these things and you may or may not align with them, but you just want to keep people guessing. This is how I've always experienced that word of shape-shifting in our kind of Western society. Now, of course, in indigenous cultures, shape-shifting is the way that certain spirits move through the world. So that is a beautiful thing, to be able to shift into whatever creature, whatever being, animal or human that you can, to maneuver and to advance and to succeed and to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So I invite us all to experience this word not as a way of aligning with inauthentic ways of our behavior or our look or our appearance or our persona, but as having the courage to explore parts of ourselves that perhaps we might not have had the courage to explore just yesterday. So it is a matter of trying things on and showing them to the world when we believe they are authentic. And then perhaps having the flexibility to change when you need to, into all of those authentic parts of who we are. So again, for tonight, we're thinking about, reflecting on our own courage to discover new things about ourselves, to perhaps try them on, perhaps let them go if they don't work, but also to assimilate them, bring them into our lives, absorb them if they do. Does that make sense? Good. So the next question before we go a little deeper is, what exactly does this mean to you tonight as you hear those words, as you've heard me read the book and share some of my insight? What does it mean for you now to either be a shapeshifter, to encounter shapeshifting around you, to explore it in a way you might have not explored it before? With that, let's take some moments to go into our meditation. So, of course, as usual, we want to get comfortable. We want to find some place that we're going to be both relaxed as well as energized the deeper we go. So we want to keep that inspiration up, keep the energy up, and to, as we go deeper, also feel the energy that we use to relax also raise our spirit, our essence, so that when we come back to our bodies, we are feeling stronger, more powerful, and yet freer of any burdens that might have kept us from that strength and that evolvement. So let's start again by paying attention to our breath. This is how we get in touch with our physical presence, as it enters into our body through our nose. Just feel it as it fills every part of your body, and then we exhale slowly. Let's inhale again and hold and exhale. Now it's on this last breath that we're going to actually close our eyes. So let's take a deep breath. Inhale and then slowly exhale as you allow your eyes to flutter closed. And as you do, see if you can tilt them just a bit toward your third eye chakra, just a bit up toward your head. So we've taken our 3 deep breaths. Our breath is going to return to normal, to a normal, comfortable pace, but it still has intention. You can still feel it entering and exiting our body. With every breath, as we inhale it, fill our lungs and body with it, and then release it. Let us imagine us getting more and more relaxed. And today, instead of imagining our body parts each becoming individually more and more relaxed, just imagine every breath bringing your entire physical body to a state of complete relaxation. And the more that our bodies relax, the more we feel all pain, physical and emotional and spiritual, just dissolve away. And as that pain dissolves away, so can we allow our physicality to just take a break for a few moments. We can allow that material and physical self to just dissolve away. It works so hard for us. The perfect organism with perfect systems to grow and heal. But tonight we focus on our essence, for it is our essence that allows us to shift our shapes. It is in our mind and in our essence that we can envision the different shapes for us to become. More and more relaxed. And as our body, or our sense of our body, drifts away slowly, we find ourselves feeling very, very comfortable without our physical body. We're enjoying the feeling of free floating in the ether. However, we are experiencing the ether. Is it a dark and comfortable space, or is it a place that is light and fluffy? How does this feel for us as just essences? Let us settle into those essences. Is this where our identity is? Or is this where we are free of identity? Do we feel individual in this space? Or do we feel unified with the very space itself? There is no right or wrong answer. It is simply how we are in this space right now, that we've been released into it temporarily. It's almost like we've been dropped off on a little spiritual play date. We've just entered into the space with the other essences that are to be playing here this evening, those essences, can make us feel more individual or more connected. Or as we move through the meditation, perhaps both. For our message, of course, is shape-shifting. Shape-shifting. As clouds. As clouds. And here is clouds, where as essences, we choose together to take the shape of clouds. And all that means is that we can envision the essence that is formless and shapeless now coming together as a mist. With each beat that you hear, the essence becomes more and more big, billowy, puffy, saturated cloud. Not just floating, but expanding and contracting. Out into the ether, stretching wide, wide, so thin, we almost look like a thin veil. Spun glass or cotton. But then, as soon as we expand to our widest, start to contract. For the next few moments, we allow ourselves to expand and contract at will as we would like, as we feel good about. Billowy and blowy, misty, dense, and thin. Just dance. Just dance as clouds. contracting. Now that we have tapped into our powers, the powers that we have to shift and change, to become and unite with others who also help us shift and change and discover new things about ourselves. Let us take these powers that we have learned from our expansion and our contraction to shift our shape. And let's start by just reflecting on the shape that reflects our primary essence. The essence that is reflected by this cloud formation we have become. Let us think of that card. We need to look at it again. We take a glance at it. Let us think of now our intention or our question. Let us ponder. What shapes might we need or might we want to become to receive the answer to our question or to follow the guidance that we've received about our intention? What shapes might we try on to allow us to answer our question? Or take steps toward our intention? So just take these next few moments to become those shapes, to try them on in your mind's eye, your spirit essence, as they relate to your question or your intention. Just drift into those shapes as necessary for the next few moments here in the stillness. as the tones drift away, we've shifted into our perhaps last shape that we might need to be, to absorb, to become, to try, to accomplish our intention, or to answer our question. All of the shapes we have become and tried on this evening have been part of us. Nothing inauthentic, nothing untrue. All beautiful, worthy, divine parts of who we are. As the tones drift and we feel so peaceful, we know we've shared this experience with so many other essences as clouds, as shapes. Perhaps those shapes have interacted this evening. Perhaps as you reflect in the coming days, you'll have sensed an interaction that you hadn't experienced or didn't know you experienced. All of these shapes we've been able to try because the essence that we are as we enter this space is true and real and authentic, not dependent on any material definition or cultural definition or societal or religious definition. The essence that we have entered this space with this evening together is one of pure beauty, pure divinity, pure safety. And that's how we've been able to try and experience new shapes, because we know we've experienced that essence as being true and real, and us. I am my essence. I have shared my essence. I know who I am. And I know the way to receiving my answer and accomplishing my intention. Because I've had the courage to explore parts of me tonight. So let's regroup. Let us start finding our way back to our physical selves, refreshed and invigorated, looking forward to the opportunity to try some of these new ways to appear, to act, to respond. Some that we've always wanted to try, some that we never imagined we would. We are thrilled and excited to return. So let's pay attention to that breath. So let's once again find ourselves aware of that breath as it enters into our nostrils and through our body. Inhaling and exhaling. Now we're going to return completely by taking those 3 deep breaths. We'll keep our eyes closed on the first 2, and then we will open them on the last. Inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. One more time, inhale as we open our eyes together and find ourselves back here from that amazing journey as clouds, floating as essences and mist and beings together, free from the limitations of our physical selves and our earthly thoughts, only expansive, only growing, only having the ability to shift our shapes. So thank you so much for taking that journey. I've not forgotten tonight. So let us burn these together. I'm going to start by taking my intention that I set to ask and receive answers about. And just know that you may or may not have received that answer in this particular moment, but because of the moment, you certainly might receive it as the week progresses. So if you weren't able to go deep, or if you felt like you had some resistance, don't worry, you were here. You established this. This is your space to try, to experience, to shapeshift how you even choose to meditate. So let us do this together. I'm going to light this and let it go. This is mine first. Light to it as it drifts away. And this one is just, I'll show it to you, everyone's intentions right there. Charged, so charged by what we saw tonight, what we experienced tonight together. So let us do that together. Here it comes. Yes. With goodbye. For as you have intended so shall it be returned to you in whatever way is best, this or something better. Thank you once again. I've got lots of things that I want to share with you, so please remember to check Facebook page. I'm working on my website now, but the Facebook page, the YouTube channel will be places where I can release and experience and create experiences with you and for you. As you probably know, I've done some fun videos with my friend Hilary Lowenstein, and she's of Hilary's Mindful Living, so check out the High Vibin videos with Hilary and Rev Rob. And of course, I've been doing Karma and Kocktails with my friend Brenda Paradiso for quite some time now. So those are all also available on Spirit Throw Me a Bone. I will put those links in the comments of our spaces, and look forward to seeing you, experiencing you all at those and others events that might be coordinated. Check the email if you want to be on my email list please be sure to either drop it in the comments or to send me an email at thespinnister@gmail.com. That is the Spinnister, not Spinster, Spinnister @gmail.com. And let me know you want to be put on our mailing list, and you'll get our weekly update. There you have it. This is the last Wednesday of April. I thought last week was. So here we are, finally at the last one. And we will begin anew next May, the merry month of May, with a brand new meditation, maybe a new set of cards. We'll see. Let me know in the comments if you want to try something new and what card deck you might want me to check out. Although I don't have a lot, but I've got a few. But just let me know your thoughts and what we might do to make this even more fun and other things that you might want to try together. So that's it for me. Signing off. Thanks for going through it tonight. Thanks for being with it all the way. And good luck on your week. Let's check in next week about what happened to you. And we'll see you again on the other side in May. Good night.